A regular health checkup. Just a short time to bop away to that. Time for a health check, and amid Christmas shopping season, many families are buying toys and gadgets for their kids, but some are containing a hidden and dangerous hazard, and that is button batteries. About 20 kids get taken to emergency departments each week after swallowing or ingesting one, with one child a month suffering a severe and potentially life-changing injury. Paediatrician and infectious diseases expert Dr. Lily Fwong joins us now to explain what we all need to know. Hello. How are you?
Hi, good guys.
There's some pretty awful statistics there.
Yeah, they're pretty frightening. I think a lot of people aren't aware of the dangers of button batteries. They're so small, and you know what could they do really?
Why are they so dangerous?
Yeah, so it's there are two main reasons why they're very dangerous, and the first is that because of the size of them. So essentially, they are a choking hazard. So if you think about young kids and their smaller anatomy, younger children have smaller food pipes or esophagus, which means that these batteries can get lodged and stuck. And as we all know, kids like to put things in their mouths and explore the world. And when there are the shiny little things, that becomes a risk. The second is obviously more important, and it's around the fact that they can cause a voltage or a current. So they can set up an electrical current burn even when the battery is dead. So essentially what happens is that the battery interacts with the saliva and then can cause a chemical burn. So basically can eat its way through, unfortunately, through the food pipe, through to the wind pipe as well, and cause damage. Unfortunately can cause catastrophic bleeds, and that's what we have seen in hospitals.
Awful.
It's awful, yes.
So what kind of symptoms should parents be looking out for over the holiday period, especially when there are more batteries around and sort of Christmas toys and that kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a really important thing for parents and carers to know that, firstly, once a battery has been consumed, it can be really subtle, so there might be no signs at all. Initially, a child might look like they're drooling or gagging or something has been stuck. There are new regulations now around Australian batteries, and they emit a blue dye, a bitter blue dye, which encourages kids to spit them out. So if parents see that blue in the face, so over the tongue and the fingers, they know that something has happened and they need to get to emergency. The other signs are obviously signs of kind of chest pain or coughing or being uncomfortable. So those are all signs that essentially mean that you need to get to the nearest emergency department. But the other thing is, once you know that there has been a suspected injury, basically, you really need to act straight away. So we would encourage that people go to the nearest emergency department. They can call 000 on the way and get some advice. They can call the poisons line as well. And often, if their child is above 12 months of age, they can be encouraged to give honey, which will slow down the extent of the injury. So they will kind of carefully give you those instructions over the phone. But certainly we encourage that no food should be given otherwise. No food, no drink. No one should try and get their child to vomit. Essentially, it's to the nearest emergency department. They get a chest x-ray and we get sort of that 100% certainty as to whether or not there is an injury there that may be at risk.
Okay, Lenny, Christmas is just a few days away.
Yes.
I'm heading to the shops. I'm under pressure. I need to find something.
Yes.
I'm looking at this big shiny
this is
toy.
The cool aunt, isn't it? Yes.
Pretending to be. What am I looking for? What are some of the things that I should avoid, or should I be looking for in terms of safety?
Yeah, I think in terms of Australian retailers, a lot of them will stock things that have Australian regulations, and so any toys that have button battery compartments often will have a compartment that only is openable by a tool. That is really important. But in the instance, a lot of us have done our shopping already if you're organised, and if you've done the online shop.
I'm giving you a little not me.
But yeah, with the online shopping, I think you'll find that not a lot of the toys and the products can be as well regulated. And so if there is a button battery compartment, it's really important that, one, as I said, there's something that is a screw, that is locked. But if you do have those things around the house, it might be worth securing them. So what we do in our household, we use duct tape, so bright blue duct tape, and put it over all of our devices. So for example, the car keys and the remote controls often have an extra security just in case the screw gets loose and there's an accidental spillage. But yeah, certainly in terms of toys, I think it's really important to look for those kind of safety compartments or avoid giving those items to young children And particularly, I think the musical greeting cards and the decorative lights are ones that people forget about.
Yeah, what about those sort of other items in the home that might just sort of be there already?
Yes.
I understand there might be some concern around magnets, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think in terms of household items, people don't often think about, you know, the common things. And I think if you haven't done it already and there are young kids around, it's worth kind of going around the house and thinking about those common items. So things like, we think of car keys, we think of remote controls, hearing aids are a really big one that a lot of older Australians might have around the house and they haven't thought about where they put their batteries. We think about those decorative items, so the novelty greeting cards, anything musical, anything that lights up is often a risk. Scales, so kitchen scales, bathroom scales, and the kitchen thermometers as well. So I think just have a check around the house, see what's around, either duct tape them or make sure that you are kind of being really careful around young children. The other thing that we often recommend in terms of prevention is making sure that you store your batteries safely away so that they are out of reach, because as I said, they're shiny and attractive. But the other thing is disposing them safely. So we will recommend that you put them in tape. So wrap them in tape and make sure that you put them away and then get them to a battery disposal place so that they are safely discarded. But to your other question around magnets, so magnets are also a concern because if there's more than one high-powered magnet that's swallowed, similarly what can happen is it kind of tracks down the intestinal tract and it can attract across intestinal walls, and they are really strong and they can cause quite a bit of friction and therefore cause some issues that way as well. But you know, we're hoping that everyone has these precautions in mind so that none of these accidents happen. But yeah, hopefully. Absolutely. You know, a safe Christmas to all and, you know, safe festive season.
And same to you, Linny. Thank you. Full of information and tips. We appreciate you coming in and for all your work this year.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's take another step away.